You know that feeling when you look at your industry online and you realize you're putting in the work, you have the expertise, you're posting the updates, and yet you're practically invisible. It is literally the most frustrating thing to be highly active but constantly drowned out by the noise. Well, welcome to this explainer, because today we are going to fix that. We're breaking down the architecture of authority to help you build a truly magnetic personal brand. And look, we're not just going to talk about vanity metrics here. We're using a systematic, behavioral science-backed approach to demystify exactly how influence is actually built in the real world. Okay, let's dive right into this.
All right, here's our roadmap for today. We're breaking this overwhelming topic down into 5 manageable pieces: the psychology of influence, defining your core identity, the habit of consistency, standing out through contrast, and wrapping up with your digital execution playbook.
Okay, part 1, the psychology of influence, the science of trust.
So, why do we blend in? A lot of folks kind of think personal branding is just this massive exercise in ego or self-promotion. But honestly, that couldn't be further from the truth. Building authority is actually grounded deeply in media psychology and behavioral science. It is fundamentally about the science of trust. So ask yourself right now, why is it that so many knowledgeable professionals post their insights into the digital void only to hear absolute crickets? It's a super relatable struggle, but the answer isn't that your content is bad. The answer actually lies in how the human brain processes information.
And this concept brilliantly illustrates what's going on: processing fluency. Basically, our brains are bombarded with up to 10,000 pieces of media every single day. To cope with that, the human brain actively avoids cognitive strain. It completely prefers information that's familiar, predictable, and easy to process. So if your brand is all over the place, say you're super formal on LinkedIn one day and totally chaotic on another, it introduces cognitive friction. People literally can't figure out which mental folder to put you in, so they simply don't remember you. Establishing cognitive ease and giving the brain context-dependent memory is your absolute first hurdle to building a trust loop.
And the stakes here are incredibly high. 70%. According to the data, 70% of employers find a personal brand more essential than a resume. Let that sink in for a second. Your digital footprint and the processing fluency it creates is essentially your career insurance policy. It's very often the difference between getting the opportunity or just blending into the background.
Moving into part 2, define your core identity, the foundation.
If we know we need to build a trust loop based on cognitive ease, how do we actually do it? Well, we have to establish a really clear internal DNA for your brand. A great place to start is with brand strategist Caleb Ralston's 4-question framework. It's simple, but man, it is savage. First, what is your desired outcome? Like, actually name it. Do you want premium clients, paid speaking gigs, category leadership? Second, what reputation makes that outcome inevitable? Third, and this is absolutely crucial, what actions do you need to take to earn that reputation in real life? Because proof always beats posts. You have to collect actual receipts. Finally, what skills do you need to learn next to do those things well? A magnetic brand starts with brutal honesty about these 4 questions.
Now let's look at the 4 C's of branding. This is a framework taught at Berkeley Executive Education to see how this builds a cohesive philosophy rather than just a to-do list. Clarity, consistency, content, and communication. You start with clarity of who you are. That naturally leads to consistency, so people recognize you across platforms, which then informs content that actively reinforces your core values. And finally, communication that actually builds real relationships. Defining your internal purpose basically acts as a decision-making compass for your outward persona. When your internal values align with your external signal, your audience absolutely feels it. All right, part 3, the habit of consistency, the engine.
We've defined the theory of your brand identity, but theory doesn't get you noticed, right? To keep the engine running without burning out, you need daily mechanics. The internet sells pressure, but to succeed, you need sustainability. So here's the crucial difference: outcome-based branding versus identity-based branding. A lot of people focus on outcome-based branding. They chase vanity metrics like hitting 10,000 followers. The big problem there is when progress gets slow, they quit. Identity-based branding, which comes straight from behavioral psychology, means adopting the identity of a professional. You don't post because you're desperate for likes, you post because, quote, I am a visionary leader in my space. Shifting to an identity sustains your daily motivation even when the algorithm is being super stingy.
To actually build that identity, you have to engineer it. James Clear's Atomic Habit Loop shows us the perfect anatomy of a branding habit. 1. The cue. Make it obvious. Set your environment up so creating is triggered naturally. 2. The craving. Make it attractive by bundling your branding tasks with something you already enjoy. 3. The response. Make it easy. Lower the friction to start so you aren't overthinking every little detail. And 4. The reward. Make it satisfying by tracking your wins. Consistency is a systematic design. It is not a reliance on sheer willpower.
And here is the exact math of why that consistency works. 37 times. If you get just 1% better at your daily branding habits, like improving a hook, optimizing your profile, leaving a thoughtful comment, that effort compounds into 37 times growth over a single year. You do not need a viral hit. You just need the compounding interest of marginal gains.
But what about the days you literally just don't feel like it? Come on, we all have them. I love this quote from the digital writing program Ship 30 for 30. You can quit tomorrow, but show up today. It's such a powerful psychological trick. You are basically deferring your boredom. You tell yourself, I'm going to give up, but not today. I'll give up tomorrow. Today, I'm just going to put in this one small rep. Spoiler alert, by the time tomorrow rolls around, the emotion has usually passed and your momentum is completely intact.
Part 4. Stand out through contrast, being the antidote.
So, once you're consistently showing up, you have to differentiate yourself. People complain all the time that their market is saturated. But a saturated market just means the demand is already proven. That is a good thing. Your job isn't to invent a whole new market. Your job is to be the antidote to what is currently annoying people in it. Here's a highly effective way to figure out your positioning: the 2-column exercise. On the left side of a piece of paper, write down everything your niche repeats that you disagree with. What's missing nuance, what feels, well, cringe. Then, in the right column, write the exact opposite. That right column instantly becomes your proud positioning, your content angles, and your unique brand contrast. You stand out simply by holding the line on what you are proudly against.
Finally, Part 5. Your digital execution playbook. Bringing it to life.
Let's bring this entire explainer home. How do we take all this psychology, the identity work, and contrast, and actually apply it today on platforms like LinkedIn? First off, stop putting so much pressure on yourself. You have to understand the difference between documenting versus creating. Creating implies you have to invent something from thin air, performing for an imaginary film crew that, let's be honest, isn't really there. Documenting, on the other hand, is a sustainable practice. Mind your calendar, look through your inbox, review your Slack channels. Find a decision you made, a mistake you owned, or a client win from the last 7 days, and just share the steps. You already have the content, you just need to document the reality of being in the arena.
When you share that documentation, map it out to this 3-stage content journey. Step 1, attract. Use hooks, bold insights, and relatable pain points to catch attention. Step 2, build trust. Share the how-to, the frameworks, and your core beliefs. Position yourself as the guide. Step 3, convert. Share your case studies and testimonials. By mapping your content to this specific structure, you're strategically moving your audience from being strangers to trusting buyers.
Let's look at what actually happens when you apply this in real life. This is a mini case study of a freelance copywriter named Daniel. So Daniel had a super generic profile and wasn't getting any traction. He applied this exact framework. He clarified his niche to specifically helping Series A SaaS brands double demo bookings. Very clear. He posted consistently, documenting his frameworks. Within 60 days, his impressions jumped from 1,200 to 4,800 per post, and he closed 2 premium clients for $4,500 and $6.2 thousand. He completely stopped lending in. But here's the reality check. Daniel only won those clients because he actually knew how to do the work. Remember this high-impact takeaway from earlier. Proof beats posts. It serves as a vital mental reset. You can have the absolute best hooks and the most beautiful brand colors, but delivering real-world results is the ultimate foundation of your authority. Collect those receipts and let your results do the heavy lifting for your reputation.
We've unpacked the psychology of why people ignore you and handed you the daily mechanics and playbooks to actually change it. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you building an identity-based system, or are you just hoping the algorithm randomly picks you? Stop waiting to be chosen. Take systematic control of your personal brand today.